Hey, I'm NichBoy and welcome to Pocket, and today I'm counting down my top 5 games of 2015. So I have played a huge amount of games this year because of this job. It's been more games played this year than I have in any other year of my life. I've done some rough calculations and it's probably around 230 individual games that I've played. So I am gonna spend some time just sort of name checking and mentioning some games that were really great but didn't quite make my top 5. So then in order to do that, I actually kind of broke down into just different categories so that I could make sense of everything that I've played. The first group of games that I want to talk about are the big AAAs that we kind of have to mention in this discussion because it's kind of like just impressive that they managed to get made at all. So these are games like Fallout 4 and The Witcher 3. Huge worlds, huge experiences. The fact that they run is amazing. But the two games in that sort of category that I really loved, Assassin's Creed Syndicate was a game that made me excited about that series again, which I haven't been excited about Assassin's Creed for a while. It was the most fun Assassin's Creed in ages, except for maybe Black Flag. And it was something that sort of revitalized that for me. And the other one is Rise of the Tomb Raider. While it didn't really do anything particularly new, it was just really good at what it did. It hurts. Which brings me to tiny little games that I never saw coming and completely took me by surprise. So Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is something that I've had so much fun with, and you have seen how much fun I've had with that game. It was such a cool little idea, such a perfect party game, something unique, and like the replayability, while it sort of suffers as you get more and more used to the sort of modules and the way that it works, introducing new people to that game has been a really fun thing for me to do this year.
It's a full star, not a hollow star.
Oh shit! Another one in that category is Axiom Verge. I had never heard of Axiom Verge until about 3 weeks before it came out, and I was so wonderfully surprised by it. A game made by just one guy, and again, setting out to just be the perfect version of what it was trying to be, which is old school Metroidvania style gameplay. Axiom Verge is a game that if it had come out 20 years ago, probably would have been Game of the Year. But my favorite game that I just had no idea existed and took me completely by surprise was Her Story.
That's what you do. That's when I called the police.
But you're lying! Her Story is a game that, in my mind, should not work. I should not be like able to just watch this one person talking for 6-7 hours and that would be a fascinating video game for me. But she does such a great job of holding your attention. It was just this exploration sim that really, really surprised me and really made you think as well. And I love the fact that it doesn't have a definitive ending. I feel like more games should be open to interpretation, but maybe less games should be open to just spontaneous musicals. These are the worst detectives in the world. Moving on now to two games that I have sort of categorized under the topic best games that I thought I would hate, aka games that have terrible first hours. Those games are Metal Gear Solid 5 and Until Dawn. You guys saw me play the first hours of those games, and I was thoroughly underwhelmed by both of them. And then I was convinced to continue playing them both times because of live streams and ended up loving that experience. Metal Gear Solid 5's first hour is nothing like the rest of the game, but I'm really glad I persevered with that because I actually think Metal Gear this year had my favorite gameplay loop. Infiltrating bases, sneaking around, I usually don't like stealth games, but there was something about that that really, really clicked for me. And after about 5 or 6 hours, I became very, very good at that game. And I just loved moving around that map, clearing things out. And Until Dawn, again, just really shoddy writing and performances and kind of everything in that first hour, but then it became a game unlike we've kind of played before, and it was just playing out this movie, and it was actually a wonderful experience because I shared it with you guys. We all freaked out together, and then I lost a bunch of people right there at the end. No, I didn't. I only lost one. Who did I lose? Hayden Panettiere. I lost 2. Oh, Jess. Jess. Ugh, even thinking about it again makes me angry. No! Next up, and this one's a little weird, it's the best thing that wasn't the game itself. So I've got two things here. One, the GTA 5 editor, which I think is just astoundingly deep. Haven't touched it since I kind of had that week where I played with GTA when it came out on PC, but I am so impressed by that thing. That could be released by itself and it would be amazing. The other thing that I want to give it a special mention to, which is kind of weird, but it's the Rare replay menu and basically just packaging. And I just wanted to say, well done, Rare, you make good menus. Okay, so last on my honorable mentions list, I know Dota 2 didn't come out this year, but 2015 was the year that I started playing and fell in love with Dota. It's the game that I constantly think about. It's the game I compare all other games to. It's the game I wish I was playing right now, and I might just, can I launch it without even looking at, okay, maybe I'll do that later. Dota 2 is pretty much a perfect game, and I just felt it needed a mention. But there were some games this year that were not perfect games. Before we get to the good stuff, there are a couple of really crap pieces of crap that I played as well. The two worst games I played this year, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Afro Samurai 2. Both of these games should not have been released.
Sending you to heaven today, bitch. Two mother.
One of these games did right by its people and ended up in an astounding move, refunding everybody's money and removing the game for sale. That was Afro Samurai 2. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, you're bad people for making that game. You know that didn't work. That game was not fun. It barely functioned. I've said my piece. Look, he's bored of even his own game. Okay, all that is out of the way. We are now at my top 5 games for 2015. Number 5. Guitar Hero Live. My band is literally teaching me guitar on the stage. I think I just had so much fun with that game. I think that the package itself was fantastic. The crowd dynamic FMV stuff, it was going to be so cheesy. There was no way that should have worked, but it was actually so much fun. When I'm standing up holding that guitar, I actually feel like a genuine rock star, and that's really hard to achieve when you are me holding a plastic guitar and your dog is just sort of like running between your legs. That game was a real achievement for that. Also, the live streaming GHTV stuff was really cool. Just being able to pick up and play along with sort of songs and music clips that are playing. It meant that I discovered a bunch of new songs. That was really fun, and that's a good way to waste many, many hours in my house. So Guitar Hero Live, number 5, good job. Number 4, Ori and the Blind Forest. The game holds many, many special reasons to me. Number 1, it was the first game I looked at on Pocket. So, you know, that was something we all shared together. This game is beautiful. If this game was a woman, I would not talk to her because she's out of my league. If this game was a guy, his name would be Chad, and he'd play water polo. But then also, I just think, I love platformers. That was such a beautiful game. That was such a great platformer. The controls were fantastic. The world was gorgeous. I cried. I actually cried in the first 20 minutes of the game, which is impressive. I just think it was such a perfect, beautiful, special game that I think probably will get overlooked in this run of best of year stuff because it came out so early in the year, but I really, really think it's just one of the best games to come out. So number 4, Ori and the Blind Forest. Number 3, Batman Arkham Knight. So this is my AAA entry into my list. I'm just gonna put aside all the PC issues, which is probably gonna make a bunch of people angry, but it's not a reflection on how the game was, it's a reflection on how the PC port was. Batman obviously has a huge place in my heart.
Alfred! Alfred!
I love those games. I've loved all of those games. I love the mechanics of all of those games, but I also love the storytelling. Every single plot point, every single time you are playing that game, huge things happen that sort of change the story and push you into new directions. And it was just such a polished experience, and I love losing myself in the Gotham world. So Batman Arkham Knight, number 3. Number 2, completely different kind of game, The Beginner's Guide, which probably holds the most special place in my heart this year. I did not expect to be that affected by a game. Oh, amazing. Okay, wow. I so did not expect that. Thank you, Petey. It was such a different experience. It was just something unlike many, many games that we've seen. And I think that the fact that so many people loved it is a testament to the fact that you can tell these kinds of stories in games and also make them things that people enjoy playing. It doesn't need to be this weird, tiny indie thing that no one has ever heard of. The Beginner's Guide was a special storytelling game. It was an impressive game to look at and walk through. I think the way that the world just constantly developed around you was amazing, and the gut punch at the end was really incredible. I mean, Davey Reardon and William Pugh had already proved themselves with the Stanley Parable, but with the Beginner's Guide and also Dr. Lenskov, which is only like a 15-minute game, these guys are proving to quickly become my favorite indie developers just in terms of doing things that we don't usually see in games. So the Beginner's Guide just will forever be in my heart as an incredibly special game. Which brings me to number 1, which is a game that you may not expect me to put at the top of my list, but I think for many reasons does actually belong there, and maybe at the top of many lists. It's Rocket League.
Cross, shot! Yes! 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 Rolling, yes! Rolling. No! 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 He's going for a goal! Going for a goal! Stop doing it!
Rocket League is as fun jumping into a game today as it was that first day that I played it when we all sort of played it here together. It's a game that straddles the line between hardcore and casual. It is one of the easiest games to pick up and just like throw a controller to someone who doesn't play like any games, and they can pick it up after about 10 minutes. But then also someone like John, who plays so many games, goes so deep into them, is still finding new tactics, new ways of playing that game. It has so much depth, but it's also just so accessible. And then on a whole nother level, it succeeded in becoming an esport.
Kyle! Kyle! No! Kyle! What? Oh my goodness gracious me!
It was a free game for PS Plus that everyone got, which sort of like really just allowed a bunch of people to experience it when they otherwise may not have. It has cross-platform play. They're bringing it to Xbox One to expand the audience. They're supporting it constantly. There's nearly a new patch every month. There's paid and free DLC that doesn't break the game, but sort of adds a huge amount of fun to it. I think from a game point of view, it's fantastic, and also just for what it's doing for games, I think it's fantastic. So who would have thought that Car Soccer Ball would be my game of the year? And as icing on the cake, it was also the game that birthed these damn pants. Oh, this is so stressful.
My heart can't take this.
I'm so damp. All right, that's it for my Game of the Year wrap up, but I really want to know what you guys loved this year. Please post your top 5 games in the comments. Actually, go as deep as you want. If you got a top 100 and you figured it out, like, let us know. But I would love to know what you guys loved this year, what you didn't like, why you loved it, all that good stuff. So let us know in the comments. That's it for today's episode of Pocket, the penultimate episode of Pocket for 2015. NichBoy out. You know, they're damp right now. They're actually damp.